Your Excellency the President, Your Excellency the Deputy President, Your Excellency the Honorable Prime Minister, viongozi wote ambao mmefika hapa siku ya leo, wale wote mmekuja kutufariji na kuwa nasi wakati tunasindikisha mzee wetu kwa safari hii ya mwisho. Naomba niwasalimie kwanza, hamjambo. Mintombi ya mure. Biamono gakina ande nda basabe asa maskanya manene. Asa maskanya manene. Twali wancha togendere programu yebunere. Bali mwale okwana nto baigwete. Lakini tuanchire ekiara ni manyete na aneko batebinde buna omwaka banchete na inuna mwa musigete. Kamuranche tikatokole programu ye asenjera ya maskanya. Your Excellency, before I move a vote of thanks, allow me in just a few minutes to read a personal tribute to Dad. Dad, it is time to say goodbye. But then again, because we are people of faith, it is not a final goodbye. We believe that we shall be reunited before God's throne on that resurrection morning. Like the Apostle Paul in his second letter to Timothy, you have finished the race, you have fought the good fight, and you have kept the faith. And what a life it has been. I thank God for having given you to me as my father. From you, I have learned much. You taught us by example to accord respect and dignity to everybody, irrespective of their socioeconomic status. Courage has been one of your greatest virtues. You always courageously stood for what you believed in, even against all odds. I recall when I was chairperson of the Commission for the Implementation of the Constitution, many times doing my job properly required rubbing the establishment the wrong way. When this happened, and depending on the perspective of the person speaking, people would say, he is courageous like his father. Or they would say, huyu ana kichwa ngumu kama baba yake. Either way, I was proud to be associated to that virtue of yours. Dad, again by example, you taught us generosity. You always reminded us to acknowledge God's blessings, and you, in turn, shared those blessings widely. Time without number, I have met people who I didn't know previously, and they have said to me, without your father, I would not be what I am today. There is so much more, Dad, that I learned from you, values and virtues I observed throughout my life, and which I am sure my siblings will endeavor to emulate. Dad, in your last few years, you have struggled stoically with a deteriorating health situation. For me, it has been painful and traumatic to watch my strong, active, and independent father lose his strength, become largely inactive, and also become dependent. Even after over 2 years, it remained a major challenge for me to mentally reconcile with the sight of you on a wheelchair, your mobility severely compromised. Through this situation, however, God, in His infinite goodness, provided a unique opportunity for you and I. In that period, we had the opportunity to talk on a one-to-one many times. In these conversations, you told me many things. Indeed, you poured your heart out to me in a manner I would not previously have thought possible. I felt you speak to me, not just as your eldest son, but as a close and trusted friend. I will forever cherish that opportunity and experience. There are things that you shared with me that I will take to the grave with me. Many other things that you shared will be of immense assistance to me as your son going forward. Dad, as we lay you to rest today, I want to promise you that I will do my part towards your family remaining as you had built it and as you would like it to remain. God chose to call you home on my birthday. I believe that in the fullness of time, He will reveal to me the significance of that. For the rest of my life, I will celebrate you and your life as I mark the birth that you gave to me. On that, your last day on earth, a few hours before you gave up the spirit, I stood beside your hospital bed with my wife Jane, and we prayed. I spoke to you and I said, Dad, whatever happens, it shall be well. Well now, Dad, it is well. Tata, it is well. Thank you. Let me begin the vote of thanks by acknowledging and thanking all the medical personnel that attended to Dad throughout the period that he has been unwell. In the UK, Dr. Stephen Manga and the set of doctors and hospital staff looked after Dad, and we are grateful to them. In Nairobi, Dr. Robert Mathenge, together with his team of doctors and together also with the management and staff of the Nairobi Hospital, we want to appreciate them for all that they have done for Dad right up to the minute that he rested within the Nairobi Hospital. We want to thank and appreciate the nurses and caregivers, both within the hospitals and at home, and those provided by Pinnacle, who have been with Dad for the last couple of years. So, all the medical personnel, I may not have mentioned you in person, but please accept our appreciation. Your Excellency the President, as a family, we thank you and we appreciate you. You have, from the time that Dad rested, you have been greatly concerned. You gave instructions for us to receive support, which we have received from the government of Kenya. And as I thank you, I want to appreciate my brother, who is also your cabinet secretary, the Honorable Dr. Fred Matiang'i, to whom you gave instructions, and who has carried out these instructions and ensured that we have received all that we have received from the state. We want to thank you very much, Your Excellency. Having said that, Your Excellency, and having addressed you in that capacity of my president, allow me also to now address you as my brother. Because I want, on behalf of our family, to appreciate your family through you. The reason I do this is because right up to the last minute, Dad never tired of telling us what the late President Jomo Kenyatta had done for him, how the late president was actually a mentor and a father to him, how he held his hand on so many issues, some of which, Your Excellency, I shared with you when you came to visit at home last week. So without going into too many details, I want to request that the Kenyatta family, and particularly your mother, Her Excellency Mama Ngina Kenyatta, who Dad also regarded as a mother, that you pass on our appreciation, and we trust that as families, what our parents started, we shall continue. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, I want to thank you and appreciate you as a friend of our family. You have your own history, Namze, and you came home to condole with us. And I want to thank you for your moral support and the personal material support that we have received from you. Thank you, sir, for your friendship. Because I cannot speak or address every single leader, I want to appreciate, on behalf of our family, all the leaders here present and those who have not been able to come today, those who worked with Dad, like the Speaker of the Senate and others. The Honorable Prime Minister has referred to how they worked in the political environment. The Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, and there are many, many people who worked with Dad. I want you to accept our thanks and appreciation as if I gave it to you individually. Thank you to all those leaders who, from the time that Dad rested, who have come home to condole with us. Thank you very much to the Gusii leaders, His Excellency the Governor of Kisii, Omoaka, Professor Ongeri, my senator, my Member of Parliament, the Honorable Richard Tongi, and basically all the Gusii members of Parliament and all those leaders. We want you to know that we thank you and we appreciate you for all the support that you have given us since this happened. We want to acknowledge and say our thanks to all the religious leaders. Some are here, some may not be here, who, first of all, have been Dad's friends over a period of time. Secondly, they have visited and prayed while Dad was unwell, but was still alive. And thirdly, those who have visited and condoled with us since Dad's passing. Again, forgive me if I don't remember all of them, But I want to refer particularly to the entire leadership of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, who have, as I say, been with us when Dad was unwell, and also since he rested. I want to thank you very much. Your Grace, the Bishop of Kisii, I want to thank you for your prayers, for your support, and I know that among the people who are hurting most for the loss of Dad because he was your personal friend, I know ni wewe Baba Askofu. Nakushukuru sana. Other leaders that came and condoled with us, and I want to acknowledge them. Bishop Oscar of the Nairobi Chapel, Pastor Jaoko, who is here, and I also want to acknowledge Bishop Kefa Omai, Pastor Ayonga Robert, and my friend Father Mugunda, all of whom came to condole with us, and all other religious leaders who I may not have mentioned. Dad's friends, there are too many for me to refer to. One or two of them have been up here, and I trust they will understand that they were not all able to speak. Mzee James Madenge, Mzee Mheshimiwa Senator David Musila, Mr. John Simba. Now, wengi sana, those are just representatives of Mzee's friends. We want to thank you, Bill Mayaka, and many others. I better not start trying to name them. Thank you, and thank you again for your friendship to Dad, and thank you for rising to the occasion to be with us and to condole with us since this happened. I have been speaking on behalf of our family to those that I have mentioned. I want to now, as children of my late father, I want to address our mothers. And I want to address them in appreciating them. My mother, I think, has stepped out, but Mongina Grace is here on behalf of them. I want, on behalf of us, your children, to thank you very much for having looked after Mzee, first of all these years. Because it is because our mothers looked after Dad and gave him an easy environment that he was able to bring us up. He was able to, that family time that was referred to was able to be a positive energy, and because of our mothers, we were able, despite us being a polygamous setup, we were able to be brought up as one family. So I appreciate our mothers. Mongina Grace, let me appreciate you in a very specific way for the last 3 years that you have looked after Dad. It was a full-time job. It was a difficult job. With all his virtues, and there were many, even when his health was good, Dad was not an easy person to deal with. So you can imagine, he was already not an easy person, and when he's well, that is a virtue. You can now imagine when he is unwell, frustrated. So, Omongina, you have done an excellent job. We appreciate you, and I'm sure Dad, wherever he is, appreciates you. Nikienda kumaliza. Sorry. Finally, and most importantly, we want to appreciate God Almighty. The God that has given my father the 89 years short of 5 days that he lived. The God that has given my father the successes that he has had, whether in public life, whether in family life, and the God who has called him home now, and in whom we trust that Dad is in his hands. We want to appreciate, we want to thank God. CS, it's okay, but as I go to sit, except my voice inaenda kidogo, I am determined to potere esta ansa ya mbiyo kaya. Mwanjire totere esta ansa ya mwa. Na tokore e mere moya Nyasaye ere. Na tokwane amangana amaya. E mere moge koera na togende igoro. Ga korangelia marieta nimbeo. Ga korangelia marieta. Ga korangelia marieta. Ga korangelia marieta. Ga korangelia marieta nimbeo. Nyasaye wasese mwenu.